Hey everyone, how's it going? Paul here once again, and today I wanted to discuss our brand new project, The Real Thing, which is a tribute act covering the amazing and wonderful music of Faith No More. I feel very, very lucky to have been asked to join this group. We've been working very hard on our music, and our debut gig is coming up on the 7th of November at the Governor Hindmarsh Hotel right here in Adelaide. Cannot wait for it, very excited. The band is I'm very lucky to have been invited to join. The band is full of great musicians. We've got Jason Simchoon on vocals, we've got Jason Higgs on guitar, Jason Ayres White on drums, and they needed to find a couple of blokes not named Jason just to make communication a bit easier. So we've got Tony Coppola on bass, and as I said, myself on keyboards, and really excited about the project. Wanted to talk to you today about one of the real interesting challenges of being in a band like this, which is it's a tribute act, and whilst we're not going to be wearing wigs and dressing up like the band members, you want to create as authentic a experience for the people who come along to the show, and that includes the sound, but also general look and feel and energy of Faith No More. Anyone who's seen Faith No More knows what an amazing live act they are. So here was my challenge. My challenge is to get the same keyboard sounds as Faith No More's amazing keyboard player, Roddy Bottom. And if you're a Faith No More fan and you've watched any of their video clips or concert footage, you'll see that Roddy operates with one keyboard. And the challenge for most keyboard players in doing that is there's a lot of sounds you have to pack into the one keyboard. There's also only a certain amount of real estate on the keyboard itself where you can put different sounds and things into to create. And for a tribute band, we want to sound exactly or as close to exactly like the original Faith No More artists as we possibly can. But I also want to retain that look, so I want to have just the one keyboard on stage, because it would be easy for me to take two or three. It solves a lot of problems, but it doesn't just quite look right if you're a Faith No More fan. Faith No More fans don't want to see a mountain of equipment on stage. They want to enjoy the music and see us getting into it and giving a lot of energy in the performance. So I'll show you how we do that, and a little bit of playing at the end to give you the end result of what it looks like. And I've chosen the song Evidence. Now, one of the goals we set ourselves in The Real Thing is we play with 0 backing tracks. So one way you could get around the challenge of creating lots of different sounds with one keyboard, quite frankly, is to pre-program some of it and have a sequencer play it, or a live backing track and play along to it. We, in this band, do not use any backing tracks at all. The only time we would use a sample would be where Faith No More used a sample. So if there's a particular sound effect that Faith No More would be triggering live on stage, we would certainly do that too. But all the keyboard sounds will be played live, and Faith No More do the same thing. In the world of keyboards, there are two kinds of guys. There are hardware guys and software guys. What's a hardware guy? A hardware guy is someone like me. I use the sounds that are in the keyboard. Software guys will use the keyboard purely to trigger the sounds out of a laptop. So the sounds sit in the laptop, the keyboard is hooked up to the laptop, and they use the keyboard to get the sounds out of the laptop. Which is better? There's not really one nor other. Different people just have different preferences, what works best for them. Roddy, if you look at Hellfest in 2015, when Faith No More played Hellfest, Roddy used a software system. So he had a keyboard that we call a MIDI controller. The keyboard was hooked up to a laptop. The laptop was making the noise. He was playing the keyboard live. I'm not going to do that in The Real Thing. I like hardware. I'm going to use the Korg Chrome. So the way we do it is we simply split the keyboard into various sections. Okay, so here is the patch I've created for the song Evidence, which is, for those who know the song by Faith No More, it's like a bit of a loungy, jazzy, bluesy kind of vibe. It's a pretty cool song. And I've actually programmed 4 sounds into the Korg to make that come to life when I play live. And when I trigger certain parts of the keyboard, you'll be able to see my 4 sounds playing. You can see the little VU meters coming up there as I play the different songs on the keyboard. How that works, it's pretty simple. All I need to do when I'm setting up these songs is I go into my zones, and I can allocate different sounds to different zones on the keyboard, which is really, really important when you want to use multiple sounds at the same time when you're playing in a live environment, as I said before, without backing tracks. And here's how we do it. So the first sound I've programmed in is this sound, which you hear right at the start of the song. I think it will sound familiar.
and that's my synth sound over here. And I've allocated which is the top key, C3, and which is the bottom key, C1 on the keyboard. And graphically, that shows up for me here. That top blue bar shows which part of the keyboard that sound sits on. Then I've also programmed in a strings sound, and this will also sound very familiar to those of you who know the song well. And those sounds sit right here, those two blue lines right in the middle of the keyboard. And I've programmed them in here. So you can see my top note B4, bottom note C#3. And I've put two sounds in there to fatten it up a bit, makes it sound a bit more like the record when you're used to hearing evidence on the record. So just gives it a bit more grunt. And then the last one is the piano sound. There's a piano solo in this song, and the piano sound sits right up here. It's the top right hand part of the keyboard, that blue line there. And we've done that with this one here. So this user 17 is my piano sound, and top key G9, bottom key C5. So that's how we do it. That's how we put all the sounds together. And when we play live, it's going to sound something like this.
So there you have it. That's how it's done. I hope you found that interesting. Thanks so much for listening, and hey, hope to see you at the Governor Hindmarsh 7th of November this year. Very excited about our show. We're absolutely going to bring lots of energy, lots of enthusiasm, and as you can see, we're working really hard to get the look and feel of the show just right. See you soon, guys. Thanks again.